All right, everybody. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If we haven't met before, I'm Stormie Grace. I'm a practicing professional astrologer and I focus on evolutionary and humanistic astrology. And because I'm not a medical astrologer, I went out and got us one. And so, Kira, welcome back to the channel.
Hi, Stormy. So good to see you, as always, every week, really. We end up talking.
I know, but that's a beautiful thing about collaboration. It's like being able to stay in your own box and do what you do, but do it
Yeah,
really, really well,
yeah.
which is such a beautiful thing because you added so much to the yearly horoscope as well. Like your section is just
That
so,
was so fun. That
it
was
really is.
so fun.
And I think,
And it was nice, sorry, it was nice to do that verbally because I've done that once in the past a few years ago, but I had to write it. And I much preferred the talk to the write.
yeah, and it also like delivers in a different way. I don't really know how to
Yeah.
explain that, but for me, it like hits a little bit differently. But
Mm,
speaking of, I do this and you do that, but we both
yes.
serve astrology. I think it's a
Yes.
really great place to jump into our topic today because we are adding to our knowledge about Venus. And one
Mm,
of the concepts for me with Venus is that Venus is really in charge of stress reduction and pleasure. How do we make
mm.
life pleasurable? How do we calm it down? And so I think one of the beautiful things is that when we have the privilege and the clarity to say, well, I'm going to just do what I do and do that very well, how much pressure that takes off,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To not have to be everything for everyone. What does that do to your nervous system when pleasure
It just
is
makes
involved?
me feel, when I picture Venus, and I love that we actually changed the date of doing this. So you're actually sitting on Venus day today, aren't you? Still, just.
Yes.
Um, and I love it. 'Cause she's, I will refer to Venus as a she. I do kind of keep Venus as a yin or feminine energy. Um, she doesn't have to be female. But there's this juicy, it's like she's soothing, and I want to say emollient, if people know what that means, but there's this lusciousness to her energy, which is great for the nervous system because the nervous system gets so wired. And then it's like this beautiful coating of juicy energy to soothe us and calm us down.
Yeah, which is an
Mm,
absolutely brilliant other side, I think, to look at Venus in because we often just see her as the planet of love and beauty
mm,
and harmony. But when we go deeper and we see that all of our planets play a big role in what they just do what they do, right? And Venus plays a pretty crucial role in helping us to be able to regulate that because I know when I'm doing something pleasurable, whether it is something having to do with physical touch or looking at something beautiful or
mm.
creating. I love soft blankets. I'm a Taurus. I like a nice warm snack and a soft
Yeah.
blanket. Like that activation to the parasympathetic system, like, woof, that is
Yeah.
like, I just even like get excited talking about it. And the part that makes me feel like this is such an important topic right now because Venus also asks us to look at our relationship with rest, relaxation,
Mm.
repair, and receiving. And when I'm in a heightened state, it's really hard for me to do any one of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want me to explain the nervous system and the fight, flight, like parasympathetic, sympathetic? I feel like we should like be clear about this.
Yes.
I mean, it's bigger than this now. We have polyvagal theory, but we won't go there today because we're talking Venus, not Mercury. Um, your nervous system has like two sides to it, two main sides. There's what's known as the autonomic nervous system. So what kind of happens automatically in your body. And it has two sides. It's like a seesaw. There's the parasympathetic, which is digest and relax. And Venus really comes in here. It's what you've been talking about. And then there's the sympathetic, which is more the fight flight. You're being chased, you're stressed, your body doesn't know the difference between stress from having a hardcore email versus being chased by something. So there's this, we still act, our nervous system still responds like we're living in caves and there's big stresses to stay alive. So we have this kind of seesaw of fight flight versus digest relax. And we need both parts. But when one goes up, the other goes down. And so when we bring in this, and if our nervous system is wired, you're talking about sympathetic, to get it to calm down, this is where we do our relaxing things. We need to slow it down, and then our digestion works better. We sleep better. We need the parasympathetic to kind of turn on sleepy stuff to digest and actually absorb through the digestive system more efficiently, just to relax and release, and for the body to kind of heal itself, is that parasympathetic, slow it down, soothe, nourish. And we live in a world that forgets to do that these days, or we are told to feel guilty for doing it.
Well, and I just think about my journey as a woman, what this has really looked like over the last couple of years, which is where my Venus reset program came from, because I got a massive reset to Venus, and I realized how much fight or flight I was in that I put myself in. That I had stories that soft equaled weak, and I wasn't allowed to do that. I wasn't allowed to participate in that, and how many digestive issues I had, and my stomach was in knots, so that lack of digestive, creative, emotional flexibility was just not there in the state of constant striving instead of just allowing. So
and we're more creative
yeah,
when we're in that relaxed state, right? There's other things flow, and the brain has time to let other things in. And it's not like Mercury versus Venus, because fight flight is really Mars and your adrenals. So there is also that opposition between, but you can have them both and they can both be working at the same time. But Mars is that energetic sport, fight flight. You got to fight for your life. And that Venus, pleasure, happiness, a lot of the hormones of relaxing and soothing would be ruled by Venus as well.
Yeah. What would happen in our lives, like even just in our relationships with our body, the primary relationship, and then expanding out in a ripple, if we learned and could remember that pleasure happens now, and that if I'm in pleasure, I'm in present, and that's okay, right? Like to counteract that overwhelm, that I'm allowed to be relaxed. How would that change how we engage every piece of our world by understanding that?
Well, we also have that whole yang, we got to produce, we got to do, and we have to have that opposite settle into ourselves, nourish ourselves, self-care. Everyone's like, oh, that's so selfish. I can't believe you do all that. Self-care is not selfish. It's like, if we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't, in a healthy way, take care of everybody else. This happens to a lot of parents, but it happens to everybody. You are so busy sacrificing yourself for everybody else, be it partners, parents, kids, friends, pets, whoever, that we give to ourselves last. Whereas if you give to yourself first and your cup is more full, it's actually easier to give. And then you don't resent the giving either.
Yeah. But I feel like we're in this time of really seeing the other side of the just receiving as well. Like, just let it come to you.
Yeah.
Let
Abundance.
all of these things. And this is a great place, I think, for all of us to kind of just take a moment and be honest with ourselves about, where are you at with the connection to your Venus? Is it easy to find something that's maybe even small once a day to just be genuinely joyful about? Can you receive massage? Can you receive touch? Can you receive music? Can you receive compliment with ease? And that's not always it's not always a skill and an energy we have developed. So that's why you and I are here to remind people that Venus is pleasure and pleasure is medicine for us.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a huge fan of the massage, I have to say. I get massages almost every week, and everyone's like, oh my God, that's so expensive. And I'm like, actually, it's not. I'm not out drinking really expensive bottles of wine, which is also pleasurable for some. But there's a lot, we all choose how we spend our money. And one of my big ones is body therapies.
Absolutely. Well, listen, your Venus sign loves you. It's like, yes, yes, please. That's what we enjoy. and to
Yeah.
do it like without the shame, without the whatever.
Yeah.
And Venus, I value this, so I invest in it. That is the most Venusian statement.
Well, and I think people forget if you're doing stuff for yourself in self-care, like Venusian stuff or any stuff, but if we're nourishing ourselves through pleasure and joy, we overall, our whole body will be healthier and live longer and be more, we'll be more vibrant. And we forget that taking care of ourselves means all these added benefits where people are like, oh, that's just so indulgent. I'm like, no, I want to live a long, healthy life. And that entails taking care of myself on a lot of levels, not just eating kale, because that's really boring.
Right. I listened to this great interview today, and for some reason it's like skipping my mind. I'll put it in the description box down below, you guys,
Oh,
when we're done, of course. But it was this woman, and she does a type of therapy, and she was talking about how for women in particular, it's the soft pleasure and the soft engagement that actually allows women to go deeper into their healing.
mm,
Once your body feels soft and gentle, pliable and safe, then you can go to that deeper layer. And it just made me think about our talk today, about all this Venus that's in my head view right now, in terms of what is that, how do we find that? So that's where I thought it would be great. Let's talk about Venus through the different positions in
yeah.
the chart to see like how we can look at that. So I'm going to cover the signs and you're going to cover the
The
houses and what people can
houses.
look like. So let's uh
Yeah.
let's check it out.
Let's
So
hit it. I
let's
can't
start with
wait.
Venus in Aries.
Yes.
I,
Do we both admit that right now? We're both Venus and Aries.
yeah, we are
I
now.
will even admit, because we're filming this right now during Venus retrograde in Aries. Yes. What degree is
Mhm.
it at right now? I can't remember.
I don't know, but I know I'm
I'd
in
have to look.
school and I don't mind. I don't mind.
I'm I don't mind either. I natally have Venus retrograde. I don't know if I should actually admit to that, but and it's been an interesting journey. And when Venus hits retro, as many of us feel like when our planet is retro natally, and then we hit the retro, there's like a different alignment that comes in. So I love that you asked me to do this right now. And yeah, I
Yeah,
better go get a massage later today, which I do have booked actually.
which is, I think it's funny too, because, first of all, I do a ton of massage, facial, all of these kinds of things, but
Oh, facial. Oh, yes.
something about the vigor. But it has to me, be gentle vigor because with Venus in Aries, looking to find pleasure in things that are a little bit more exciting or excite my passion is something that's really going to be important. So those
Mm,
soft pleasures like
mm.
playful teasing, quick excitement, a little light
Facial's
competition.
perfect, right? Because it's your
Yes,
head. Aries rules the head. And I don't know about you, but I like leave my body when people massage my face and my head in a good way, right? I go into an altered state.
yes.
Mm,
Yes,
mm.
me too. So if you have Venus in Aries and your soul escapes your body under a good facial massage or a head
It's
massage,
a good thing.
leave that in the comment section down below.
It's so
Okay,
true. Mm.
Venus in Taurus, cozies. Your Venus might like cozy or sensory things, physical comforts, things that are going to get you maybe closer to nature or exude some kind of luxury to you. Anything also having to do with slow massages. And I am a Taurus, so I do like anything that touches my
Now you're
neck.
gonna make me sit up with my neck. Yeah. Neck and it doesn't really rule the shoulders or the upper back, but when we have neck tension, it also hits down to that, right at that is top of the shoulders.
Yeah.
So that upper back and neck is so important. Other pleasure, singing actually is a huge one, right? Getting that whole vocal area going. If we're going into Taurus and second house, it's oh my God, I had a bunch of things I wanted to say there. Aromatherapy, I find, is a good one, right? Even though it's smell, but Taurus and the second house. So let me also clarify. In medical astrology, the houses have they have their own rulerships, like in regular astrology, as I call it. But houses to signs has a big overlap. So Taurus to second house, Aries to first. So the five senses, all the taste, touch, smell, is very much a second house experience. And also just anything you value, right? So wearing your best perfume, wearing your favorite jewelry, like not, something popped in my head earlier about not, how everyone always say, oh, that's my special perfume. I only wear it, on special things or those special clothes. Second house Venus needs to like value themselves and value all their stuff all the time. So doing your best stuff, using your best dishes. Aromatherapy really hit me for that one. Buying yourself luscious candles. You can always shop the second house.
Yeah.
But also how you value food and pleasure of food. And there's expensive, healthy food that some people won't treat themselves for. So when you have Venus going into that second house, either by transit or natally, you know, getting yourself those foods you love that you go, oh no, that's a treat. I don't do that. Taurus knows how to spend money at the farmer's market for sure.
Yeah. Second house, your second house is ready to buy. I just want you to know that, FYI.
Yes.
All right, let's go to Venus in Gemini. Now we're moving more into the air vibration. So I really feel like Venus in any of the air energies, but particularly in Gemini, is looking for that relaxation that brings mental clarity, like actual joy through mental clarity, or like writing, speaking, any kind of word play, anything that gets the multitasking. And this is something that I never want to take away from the Gemini energies either, or any of the air energies, is that it is a double sign. So there can be just this delicious pleasure in moving multiple ways, in moving in multiple directions that maybe a fixed sign doesn't find as pleasurable, or an earth sign doesn't find as pleasurable.
Oh, I love that. Brings in breathing exercises as well, but not ones that are really stressful for you. Finding that breath work, humming. I'm thinking vagal nerve, third house, but the whole nervous system and the lungs. Breathing relaxes the nervous system. So whether it's putting on good music and doing chanting, or again, I'm going to bring in singing because it's vagal, or humming. And third house, just, yeah, the pleasure of communicating, I would put in there as well, and making sure you're communicating with those people that make you feel nourished. I know 11th is more friends, but there's that, that person you need to call or FaceTime that nourishes, those friends that nourish your soul. I think is a very third house connecting, or siblings if you have nourishing siblings.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I think and I just keep thinking about, I just keep seeing like cars, like if you just enjoy going on a road trip and that chills you out,
Mm.
yeah, do that. Do
I'm
it.
a fan of singing at the top of my lungs on a road trip when I'm by myself. It turns out I can actually lose my voice on a road trip because I sing at the top of my lungs when I do that. I
You
actually did that yesterday.
gotta keep it spicy, Venus and Aries, keeping
Make the
it
good
spicy.
playlist. Mm.
Okay, let's do Venus in Cancer, our water energies. There's more emotional depth. There's going to be more, I think it's more immersive, is really the word that I want to use. And there may be more pleasure in things that you find to be safe. So, like home, old songs, right? Like we're singing, we're in the car, but I want to sing those old songs. I don't want to sing the new ones. I want a comfort food, something that reminds me of being snuggled or being wrapped in something deep and soft in terms of its experience.
Mm. Um, and you said immersive, which goes with water. So whether we're talking Cancer or fourth house, well, fourth house is a home environment and nourishing and making your home pleasurable. So whether that's buying more throw pillows, or, baking is a big fourth house thing, and baking or cooking your soul foods that make you feel good from childhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chocolate also does pop into my brain, but I probably should let that's very Venus. But getting yourself into some water, for fourth house, the ocean is home for a lot of fourth house or strong Cancer people. So getting in the ocean, or, the bathtub with beautiful bath salts or bubble bath is like the picture that I get when you need to immerse yourself in the fourth house. And if you don't have a bathtub, get a really nice foot bath and put some salts in that, and at least get part of your body in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
Mm.
gosh. That's absolutely brilliant. And
With
thinking
some
about ways to make it
candles.
practical for anybody, right? No matter
Mm.
where you're at, there's an opportunity to engage your Venus in whatever element it's in as well.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. New, the visual I get is, new gorgeous sheets to be lying in bed and reading your favorite book is very, taking that half day off to cut the world off and just have, read a romance novel in bed.
read a little trollope book and move on. Okay,
Yeah.
Venus in Leo. Listen, I know that it can sound like it's a bit shallow, but I don't think that it is.
Mm-mm.
Things that allow your Venus in Leo to receive compliments, I think it's a
Oh,
really big
nice.
deal, right? Like, do that dramatic storytelling, be in spaces that are a bit more luxurious, dance, create. Maybe your Venus
Dance.
really wants to be seen because this is still a Venus in fire. So that excitement and passion and physicality, I think, is still there. So being able
Mm.
to move that and have the laughter in the eyes come to you, gosh,
Yeah.
would that fill your tank?
Yeah. Dance comes to mind. And also, no matter the style or whatever kind of art you think you're good at or not, pulling out your fifth house is that creative spark. Whatever is creative for you. Like, I'm not an artist, but there's lots of creative stuff that I do. So get that, whatever it is. But if you're the watercolors or what, make something, craft something that only is amazing for you. It doesn't have to be for anyone else. Or the other one that keeps popping in my head is go get your hair done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go make yourself feel luxurious in whatever way that is. That's really fifth house.
Bring out your cheetah print. That would
Mm.
be
Oh my gosh.
fantastic.
I have to say, every time I do a lot of walking and running, and I walk a lot with my daughter, and she's no, she's not Venus. And I was thinking she was Venus and Leo, but she's not. We are always laughing really hard though, because the day the sun moves to Leo, every other person walking near my house is in leopard print um, leggings. Like, it's like a weird boom of leopard print leggings, and we like laugh about it every time. I'm like, it's today, just watch.
I love so Venus and Leo, we see you. There you go. You've
Yeah,
been
what you really
spotted,
do see you.
literally.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Okay.
making yourself feel the center of the universe is a very, it's nice to be center stage in whatever way that person is wanting to do.
Yes. Venus
Mm,
and Virgo. Now listen, people talk bad about Venus and Virgo, and
mm.
I understand the thought, but I don't think there's any bad placement. So if what is joyful and pleasurable to you is organizing, reading, having your material space, or in some kind of organization, if that brings the stress level down, do that, because that is as much a form of self-care and
Oh
being of
gosh, yeah.
service to other people by not being a stressed out version of yourself. And I
Mm,
think that it lends itself to other things, like in the self-care, we're cleaning, we're body
yeah.
stretching, we're looking at that daily routine that feels really luxurious, to that Virgo energy.
Yeah. And the sixth house, we think of it as the house of illness, but I also see it, it's also the house of hard work and service. And it's about hard work and service to yourself. But as you said, bringing in some Venus pleasure along with it. And no matter what it is that makes you feel pleasurable within that sixth house organizing. I often yoga often has this beautiful flow for strong sixth house people, be it Venus or something else. And just Yeah, I keep popping into just organizing and making your, this sounds so weird, but actually getting into your cupboards in your kitchen, and whether it's buying yourself all new, amazing looking containers to then put all your healthy food within, like
Yeah,
organizing, but with pleasure. Yeah. Cleaning.
yeah,
I
yeah.
have
Venus
enough
is an
Virgo that I
aesthetic as
get this.
well.
Yeah. Cleaning the fridge so it has the beautiful foods that you want in it as well, the healthy foods, as well as, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You know how we see those reels and things that come up online, and it's like Amazon products you can't live without or whatever.
Oh my
And for
God.
people
I
who
get obsessed with those.
what look at their kitchens, they're so beautifully organized that visually, from a Venus perspective, the aesthetic is delicious and
And
feels good.
and what people forget is organizing and cleaning like that actually creates dopamine for your body, and dopamine makes you feel amazing. So, yeah, I'm a huge dopamine cleaner, and I may or may not have a lot of those Amazon products. I'm a big when I moved to my recent house, I was like, I need this. It sounds luxurious, but very Virgo. I was like, I need all my containers to match,
Yeah,
right? And I went and did that purchase of, like, I won't admit to how much Tupperware I bought, and beautiful apothecary jars for all my teas and all the labels. And I went into a full Virgo Venus organizing, and it brings me so much joy when I walk into that. I have an open pantry, so you see it as well. And if it was in chaos, it would freak me out. So,
absolutely. Absolutely. No,
mm,
I know I'm a Virgo rising. It's fine.
360.
So, okay, Venus in Libra. So we're back into
Oh,
the airspace. And so here again, there's some curiosity, there's conversation is really lovely when you're an air energy, whichever ways you choose to communicate. And we can never forget Miss Ursula from The Little Mermaid, who said, never underestimate the power of body language, because that is a
oh
way
yeah.
that there's beautiful communication there. But I tend to feel like with Libra, we can go more with like, we need light socializing. We can socialize,
Mm,
don't need to like go to the depths of our being and back, I think about a beautiful like cafe or something, and the music is soft, and the lighting is a bit romantic, even if that's not the theme. There's light socializing, the aesthetic is on, and just
yeah.
doing
Yeah.
these like breathing and relating check-ins, and that can be really pleasurable.
Yeah. Yeah. Art galleries always come into mind when I think of the seventh house, right? And pleasure and those beautiful, anything to do with color, be it flowers, buying yourself flowers, getting somebody else to buy you flowers is very Venus and Libra. And I agree with the socializing, or I always see that seventh house Venus. It's like if you are the entertainer, also doing finger food, not a sit down dinner, so that you can walk around and you can be as social as you want, right? It's not locked in. A fifth house Leo is going to have the amazing candelabras and a set dinner, whereas the Libra or seventh house they want to flip between, the air wants to keep talking to lots of people. So they're going to do more finger foods.
So if we're seeing that in that seventh house view, like I think it could be, this is my guess in a medical way,
Mm,
maybe nice for your one-on-one relationships to just have like
mm,
little dopamine hits, but also
yeah.
it could be good for your like primary relationships too, 'cause,
Mm,
like involves mixing in other people a bit. I don't know. And
yeah.
that makes sense at the moment. So if
Yeah.
you're
Well,
Venus and Libra, tell us.
and doing something with your partner, if you have a partner or a very important person that you share a lot of your life with, doing, Venus in the seventh is very much about that other and pleasure together. So it is social in whatever's going to work for everybody. But yeah, I agree. That one-on-one time is really important for them.
And made some good stuff. Okay, Venus and Scorpio. Now we're back to emotional depth. We're emotional
Mm,
release, emotional safety, security, trust, these kinds of things. And your Venus may want to go to hell and back for the conversation, but it's about intimacy. Your
Mm,
may feel loved on by you see into me kind of connection and the mysterious, the meaningful little glances and carrying that little bit of air of mystery. Crying may be pleasurable to your
mm.
I was always told that crying, that tears are just liquid prayers. And I think that's such a beautiful
Aw.
thing, right? So
Aw. And tears, when we cry, it activates a bunch of different chemicals in our body that do actually make us feel better. As much as we think of crying for sadness, there's also crying for joy or crying for just a release of that energy, but it does actually create a different cascade of chemicals, some of which are serotonin and dopamine, which make us feel better as well. And that eighth house going deep, and Venus in the eighth does want some good romance or some good, deep connection, be it physical or emotional. Um,
then I just want everyone to have, even if it's an elbow orgasm, I would like you to have that as
mm.
much as possible.
Mm. And, we could bring in body therapies here for Venus in the eighth. And it doesn't have to be sexual. It just has to be potent and a little bit cathartic. I'm going to go eighth house medical astrology, which is a little bit different here. The eighth house is about detoxification and releasing what your body doesn't need anymore. The eighth house rules like sweating and your large intestines and things like that. And so, Venus, if this suits you, Venus in the eighth is like going into saunas and doing a cathartic but something that you enjoy, sauna to steam room to hot, like a spa or an ice bath, even going into that potency of, again, those kick out a bunch of different hormones that make us feel better, but doing something that cathartically makes you feel yummy and alive.
Yeah,
That
I
could
love
also be
all of these
sex,
words that
but
are coming up. You can't have a conversation about Venus without finding yummy and delicious and luxurious and decadent
yeah,
somewhere in here. And these are just not, most of us are not walking around in our daily life being like, I'm feeling decadent today. How are you? And,
yeah.
and I want this to be a moment where we can all take that in and come back to that, you know,
Mm,
learn to work with
yeah.
that in our charts. So.
Yeah.
And which is
Yeah.
a good place to segue to Venus and Sagittarius with all my beliefs.
I
So
love that.
Venus and Sag, we're back into fire.
Mm.
Humor, I
Oh my
think.
gosh, yes.
And flirting, whatever flirting is for you, flirting doesn't even have to be with another person. I have flirted myself into well-reasoned many of times, or flirted with an idea of a different belief or a different culture or something you can just kind of
Mm.
yourself there, right? Flirt with the idea of going outside, watching documentaries, learning about, these kinds of things that are a bit more philosophical and bring in a different belief system. I think are very Venusian and Sagittarian kind of make some food with spices you don't use normally. Get some
Yeah.
saffron.
Yeah. Foreign foods.
Yeah.
Ninth house. Ninth house, travel, foreign things, huge beliefs, as you've said, but travel, pleasure travel is what comes. Like, can we buy a business class ticket to some amazing beach? Um, yeah, ninth house is very doing, right? So also doing pleasurable things that have to do with motion, being it a pleasurable sport, because that does exist for some people. But travel, adventure, whether it be a spiritual pleasure or adventure or like going to a spiritual retreat
I just
could
keep
be
seeing
big.
hot yoga,
Mm,
you know,
mm,
or like Ashtanga yoga. So it's a little bit more athletic,
movement.
maybe with
Yeah.
that fire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the ninth house, in medical astrology, the fire houses and the fire signs are all in charge of the muscles and movement. And so, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Venus and Capricorn. So I know Venus and Capricorn, you've been waiting patiently. You've been on your best behavior. We're here now. You've acted as a full adult. Okay, Venus and Capricorn, back into Earth. So we want some things that are going to be more grounded in the material space, high quality products, right? Fine
Shopping
dining,
at Office Works in my brain.
right? Okay, you know what I mean? Listen, I'm over
But
here. I'm like,
the
oh,
good
we
quality, not the discount quality.
right. And that's okay because I think that sometimes, honestly, we will put this area of our chart down. And I think it's where we get to recognize, especially in terms of Venus in your chart, this is the area of your chart that's saying, I do fine dining. I want
Mm,
products that are available. I want luxury. I want that
mm.
deeper massage that is just glorious and speaks of high quality. And that's a beautiful thing to bring in. I think we've been taught to be afraid of that or that that's shallow or,
Yeah.
and I don't think so.
And what comes for me is, the 10th house in Capricorn. We always think of the bones, but it's also connective tissue, which is all the tissue of your, like skin, connective tissue, collagen. So we could be doing facials here too, and working on, red light therapy for collagen, but also just luxurious. I keep seeing those really amazing, and whatever it is for you, body creams, face creams, things for your skin to nourish that you don't normally treat yourself for, right? Because we're like, oh, do I deserve that? And also buying yourself a shit hot, amazing outfit for work. We know how, even if you're working from home, we know if you dress up, you
Yeah.
put your shoes. I have shoes on right now. It's Saturday morning for me at 7 a.m. I put my new favorite shoes on and dressing the part, whatever that is for you. There's nothing better than feeling like you look amazing for your public appearance.
Absolutely. And that's just making me think of getting them teeth done, right? Whatever's
Oh
going on
yeah,
with
yeah,
your
yeah.
teeth.
Teeth whitening or
Brighten
whatever.
them,
Oh yeah.
brighten them, there's this girl, and I just remember we were in college, but she had gotten braces later in life, and she had Venus and Capricorn, and she just put the most like beige color bands on.
Mm.
She said it because it matched her neutral outfit. And I thought,
Oh,
Jesus, you can even dress up your teeth,
you
like
can. You
everything's
can.
available to wear an outfit. And Venus
Yeah.
it's a vibe, it's an aesthetic. So
Buy yourself that luxury handbag if that's what you've always dreamed of, right? It
right,
doesn't.
book the flight to Korea, do the Korean skincare. It's
Mm.
delicious.
Oh, that would be good. That
Yeah.
would be really good. I walked
Mhm.
into a Korean um makeup beauty place the other day. I was like, this is where it's at.
It is. All of my skincare is Korean, and I get complimented on my skin a lot. It's
Oh,
like
we'll have to talk about that
that's a
offline.
whole other video, you guys. So if you want to know about that, you let us know.
I
Okay, Venus
love how
and
two Venus Aries are like, oh, skincare. So about the face.
but how can you not come into the realm of Venus and not start to just see what I mean? Just very naturally bring this up and start to think about this. And it's such a lovely place. And
Mm.
it's like, you're allowed to say, I like stuff in here. You're allowed to say, I don't want to fight and work hard in the Venus zone. Oh,
Do you know
deluxe.
what would be really nice for Venus in Capricorn is the
Oh,
the
yeah, the
little, I'm
guashas.
just going to do that right now. I have it sitting at my desk with a really luxurious Japanese face cream. And while I work, but when people aren't online with me, I actually gua sha. And that's a very Venus, a non-expensive Venus in Capricorn, because it's all about your skin and your connective tissue.
Okay, Venus in Aquarius. We're back into
Oh,
the air energy
yeah.
connection. I think the connection and, you know, we think a lot about the future and futuristic ideas and things like this. So your Venus may actually be, you may have the kind of Venus who's like, yes, I do live in the middle of Kansas, but I will be booking a trip to Dubai to get my, whatever done. Like I wouldn't be surprised at all because there's a lot of independence that comes with this Venus.
Mm,
But what it's ultimately looking for is this space to bring in tech, bring in technology, to know more about how the world does what it does, what's good for, how has humanity taken care of itself for a really long time. So I do think of concepts too of like going, the most innovative thing we do is go back to something that's really old go back to nature. You know, maybe you're doing the
Mm,
Ayurvedic foods and that really makes you feel good. Or, you know, you've got your feet in the mud, things like that.
mm. Well, Venus in Aquarius needs to remember they have a body, right? Strong Aquarian energy will forget about their physical form as they're in the future. So Venus in Aquarius for me is like calling in the pleasure back to your physical form. Um, Often that helps to be in community or friends and doing pleasurable things with others, because that will feel like then you're connecting at the same time. The other thing that popped into my brain, I did a chart the other day for someone who's this quite famous hairdresser. It makes people look amazing, but he goes out into the community and cuts hair and does beards for at risk and homeless and people really trying to find new jobs that don't have a lot of money. So he goes into the whole beautifying his
Yeah.
community. But he does it in this, he has this amazing Airstream trailer that's so luxurious and over the top. He also has a bit of Leo in him. And he's beautifying community. He's
That,
making people feel good about themselves that don't often get to feel good.
yeah, that's gorgeous.
And he uses like really high-end product, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
It was really fascinating.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And it makes me think about the circles, like women's circles, men's
Mm.
healing
Oh,
circles,
yes.
things like that. You know,
Yes.
places where it's like, especially if whatever you are seeking pleasure around or seeking release from,
Mm.
you feel like an outsider to your normal community.
Mm.
Like having that, like when I started going through perimenopause, I had to go find the perimenopausal chicks. I was like, thank you very
Oh,
much.
God, yeah.
Like, I loved your show. I have to go find like these people over here, or I'm gonna fall off the planet. And then my
Yeah.
system could relax because I was like, we're
Yeah.
all the same, you know?
Well, friends regulate your system,
Yeah.
right? There's all
Um,
this research about friendship and community and gathering together that's so nourishing and healing. Whether it's a girls' night out, just a friends' night out of every gender and sex, boys' night out, whatever you need, it's
yeah,
it's a huge one.
love that.
Mm.
Okay,
I'm
Venus.
going to jump back to the sixth house
Oh yeah.
and um, playing with your animals and your pets. I
Uh,
always forget about the sixth house is pets, and pets regulate your nervous system,
yeah,
but they're pleasurable. And cuddling with your pet is like, it gives you oxytocin, which is, it
relaxing.
would go, oxytocin is like the nourishing mama bear, it makes you feel nourished and it would be more lunar, but it still is pleasurable. So yeah, hugging your pets.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, Venus in Pisces. This is where Venus is
Mm,
exalted, so super happy over here.
mm,
We're back in the water, and there's a dreaminess to
mm,
it. There's I just think of so much gentle touch
mm.
here, kind of that flowy
Like a
kind
lymphatic
of,
kahuna massage, a soft kahuna massage.
yes, right? Or what is it? The thing they've got going now at the salons with the waterfall immersion. Maybe just actual
Oh,
waterfall
yeah.
immersion. That could be great. Or a bath or
Getting
immersion.
into the water again, having a pedicure, Aries,
Yeah.
like Pisces, your feet are ruled by Pisces. So, but a lymphatic massage or beautiful lymphatic teas, herbal teas come in here and just cleansing and, yeah, just yeah, smoothing out, there's all types of massage that get done in water now. And even though I'm thinking it's about rocks, it's like a hot stone massage, even though it's stones and bringing in earth, there's something really flowy about those massages. And they put lots of stones and crystals onto your chakras. And so it is a little bit Piscean to me. And the stones are immersed in water to make them warm. So it does have this water aspect to it.
The song bowls, the being in that
Mm. And just buying
vibration.
some crystals. Let's just go buy get a crystal store. Right?
Or do you know what I mean? I wonder here too. So let me know truly if you're a Venus in Pisces, because my husband is a Venus in Pisces. And one of the things that really just does it for him is he just gets immersed in music. Like he's like, it's not even like
Yeah.
a little
Like a
iPod.
sound, like a round surround sound.
Yeah, he's like full big, like old school headphones on, and the music that relaxes him
Yeah.
is not this like I'm by the ocean. It's like and then he comes out and I can even see it. I'm like,
What are
whoa.
those called? By binaural beat, something beats. There's a certain type of music that's almost sounds techno. And I can't think of what they're called. And it realigns the whole body. But I think, going out and dancing
Well, you
and
too.
immersing yourself in music is very, because you're in the collective. When you go out in a way, you're in the collective. So it is a bit 11th house, it is a bit fifth house, but there's something about, and if you have a little bit of alcohol, you don't have to, but becoming one with that group is, that's a really, no boundaried, amazing. Sometimes I think that's a very Pisces thing to do.
Yeah. This will
Lose
make
yourself in it with everybody else.
Oh yeah, this will make you guys laugh. We live in Spain, and my husband does not speak very good Spanish yet. He's so much better than he was a year ago, right? And we have this neighbor, and we call him the Neptunian neighbor because he literally
Mm,
pops like out of the wall. He's just like there, and it's at random. We could never find him if we tried, and then he just pops up, and he's so blissful,
drips in.
right? He's so funny, and he's Spanish. And he invited my husband, who's very introverted, to a meditation.
Mm.
And my husband said, okay, yes, I would love to go. What language is it in? And it was the most Neptunian thing. He just had a little gentle laugh and he said, well, in whatever language you want to do it. It's silent. And he was so charmed with himself.
I love that. It's a silent meditation. Whatever language you want to do in your head is okay.
And then he
Oh
just
my God, I love that.
popped out again. It was like just the coolest thing. So it just makes me think of this Neptunian and this Piscean
Mm.
energy. So if that's
Spiritual
a thing for
healing
you,
would be
right?
here,
Yeah.
right? 12th house, spiritual healing, energetic healing would
Any of that.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, listen, everybody.
I feel so Venusian now. I'm gonna like, what am I gonna go do that?
Right. Don't you feel good? It's like,
I
okay,
know I
now
feel really good after this
this
discussion.
is why I'm making Venus content. I'm like, listen, Venus
I think I need to
told
go
me,
eat chocolate.
girl, we're doing it, right? So we've spent some time, we're going to bring this all together. We spent some time diving in, looking at Venus, not just as a
Mm,
planner of pleasure, but what that does to help you, especially in regulate your nervous system. There's a lot
mm,
going on in the world. Use simple, free things that are available to you and help yourself just a little bit.
mm,
So we covered Venus through the signs and the houses in medical astrology
mm,
as well to give you some ideas of what might work for you. So no matter where your Venus is placed, honor your pleasure system.
mm,
Form of the care that feels the best for you. You have my permission to go out, restore your energy, reclaim that pleasure. Absolutely. More importantly, please share with us in the comment section down below, where is your Venus and how do you find it the most joyful and pleasurable to honor that in
mm.
your life? So,
Oh,
Kira, thank you
yum.
again for coming. Oh, it's just
Oh,
been wonderful.
this is my early, it's early morning for me. I'm like, oh, my whole day is going to be Venus now. And I'm going out dancing tonight with a bunch of, I know it's in Aries right now, but I'm going out to a silent disco with a bunch of girlfriends tonight.
Wow,
So
well, we'll be dancing back
that's
to
going to be a
Pisces
bit
in no
Venus. I'll
time.
drink some bubbles and yeah. Silent disco. Have you ever been to a silent disco?
No, I
It
haven't.
sounds weird, when everyone has the headphones on, but it's actually really, it's very immersive. And as much as you have it's still within a group, and it's actually really fun because you can also change the song. You have three different channels on. So if you're not liking the song, you can just move it rather than having to wait out a song.
So
It's very airy. There's my
per
Aries pleasure. I can move it fast.
I have perhaps been to a silent disco. I just call it the gym. And those people didn't actually come to watch me sing at the machines, but I
Mm, yeah, I love that.
All right, beautiful friends, check out Kira and her beautiful work, and I'll make sure that her website and all of her contact information is below this video. Also,
Mm,
make sure you checked out the 2025 full annual report that we did for you guys so you have
yeah.
some clues, right? There's lots of good content here for you. Take advantage of it. Check out this video over here next, and then check out this one. They're both about Venus, so if you're loving, if you're
Yum,
loving the Venus,
yum, yum, yum.
indulge, go in a little bit more and see how you can work with your Venus and Venus in general. All right, you
Mm.
guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.